I know there's a lot of people out there that don't realize what I do when I do these Italian presentations, so I decided to just go ahead and show you guys. You see me read off from something off the camera, and you're sitting there going, well, okay, what are you actually reading? Well, here it is. I actually make practice sentences for you people because I actually do know semi-fluent Italian, and I make these practice sentences and then I literally read them off. Okay, and this is what I use. There are no books involved. I mean, you know, yes, I do study out of books, but when I actually make this stuff up, this is all made up. That's all it is. The reason why it's so hard for me to do some of this stuff sometimes is because, as you can see, my cursive is not exactly up to snuff. So I end up sometimes with a little bit of a stuttering problem. Sometimes I just simply can't read my own handwriting, and so therefore, there you go. Now you say, when do I do all this stuff? Well, I do it usually on breaks and lunches. I work at retail, and as I work in retail, of course, I get breaks and lunches, and when I do, I work on this stuff. Sometimes I'm actually at home. Sometimes I'll go on a trip. I'm not the one that's driving at that point, and so therefore I get a chance to just sit there and write all this stuff down while everybody else is talking or whatever. But that's when I do all this stuff. And it just depends on what kind of a mood I'm in or whatever. If I'm in a pretty good mood or whatever, I will actually do this. And that's it. That's where I get my stuff from. Now you say, well, where do the math lessons come from? Because scriva I problemi di matematica seguenti actually means write out the following math problems. And what I'm really actually saying is don't just write out the math problems. I will actually let you write out the solutions to those math problems. And I have another spiral notebook, as you'll plainly see. There you go. And that's where it all comes from. There, like I said, there's no copying from other textbooks or anything like that. I just simply make up a bunch of practice sentences and do this. And as for the names, where did they come from? Well, I went on a website where they had a whole ton of Italian names, and I just randomly picked some first names and some last names and just kind of bunched them up together and put them on here. They're all fictitious names. There's no human being probably. If there are human beings that go by those names, well, lucky them. But that's where the names came from. I just went on the web one day and found a whole bunch of Italian first names, and went somewhere else and found a whole bunch of Italian last names, and just randomly put them together. So there you go. There you have it. That's where all this came from. And I just wanted to share that with you because a lot of people have been asking me, well, gee, why do you pause so often? Why do you have so many problems reading this stuff? Well, that's why. I mean, you know, you had to read something like this, you probably said, "Go, man, I don't want to read that." But I do, and that's the way it works. But that's where all this comes from. Like I said, I'm as much a student of Italian as I am a teacher. And then now you see where all this stuff comes from. Nobody's teaching me. I teach myself. And then I present it to all of you. There you have it. There you go. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.